All right, back on the 69 Thunderbolt fork rebuilding time. Actually going to get in the headset here. Replace the ball bearings with the roller bearing I got from the UK. It's this kit here. It's a little cheaper than the other brand. Bushings came in, some other odds and ends, new stanchions. Had a little issue with the springs I received. Those are back in the mail off to where it came from, and they're sending me some new springs, progressive ones, the ones I talked about earlier, some other videos. Yeah, I noticed the frame here. It's a 69 Thunderbolt. Notice that a little different than this 66 here. I think those lugs are maybe for a headlight or something of some sort. Anyhow, I'm going to get these cups popped out real quick. And just like that. Not much to getting those out, they come right out. Yeah, these don't really come with any instructions. A little bit of grease. The one bearing is different size. Going to work on getting the cups off of this headset over here. Let me get this camera set up and I'll work on getting that lower cup off. All right, bear with me on this one. It's a little bit of an edge right here to pick up. Not so much over here. See what happens. I need my glasses for this. Coming. Kind of working it back and forth. Definitely a lot to grab. picking that up or not, but hopefully I'll have to grab on the one edge versus the other. There we go. There's that lower cup. I'm going to get that wiped off and get that bearing ready to get driven down. Alright, may have misspoke earlier when I said there was no instructions. Well, I didn't find the instructions. I did go to their website. They probably got instructions on there somewhere. Came with this fitment grease. I took a little bit out of the package and I was like, yeah, my OCD kicked in about mixing greases, and I already got this thing all greased up with some wheel bearing grease. Gonna get you guys set up over here in the corner, and I'm gonna slowly run this down with the drift. I've done this a few times already. Kept saying I was always gonna get a pipe to put it down with, evenly, but I've never ran into any issues getting this thing down with that drift. So yeah, therefore I'm just gonna use that drift again. I won't have anybody ask me about what size pipe I used. Everybody's got a drift, right? Oh yeah. Slowly but surely. Almost there. Just about there. It gets seated. I'm going to get a feeler gauge and wow. 6 minutes, didn't realize it was going to be that long. Now I'm going to take a feeler gauge and feel around there real quick. All right, so I ran a feeler gauge across there in a few different sizes. Started at 10, went to 5 thou, 10 thou, 5 thou, down to 2000s. But in the back here, I got that chisel for support. It was a little bit of a gap there. Once I got that gap gone, I had a little bit of a gap over here at 2. I had that gap at 5 back there, got it down, and then 2, and it's pretty much seated. Got it down there. It's all happy. Got this all cleaned up, just for a little safety or whatever. I know that green Loctite's like a sleeve retainer. All I got is red. Put a little red on there just for the hell of it. Keep it in there nice and happy. Yeah. Gonna throw some red Loctite on that bearing race and drive it in with this here socket and extensions. Find a place to set this up here. Oops, forgot to start that there. I got it started though. So keep working it, Ed. Appears to be seated. Appears to be seated. A little bit of red Loctite in there. Get that out. Yeah, obviously you want that going in the right direction. That would be bad news to put that in the wrong direction. I mean, you could drive it right out, but there she is. Time to work on this top one. Just give you an idea how much Loctite I got in there. And it's not like a lot of Loctite. Honestly, with the paint in the top part of this one, yeah, it's just, I guess, kind of a habit for me. Definitely not something that's a must-do. And that, like I said, the green Loctite is a sleeve retaining compound, not this red high strength. Anyhow, gonna start tapping on that one. Pretty much the same as the bottom, you know, get it in the right direction, you know, get the, be removing it. Some may say the socket's not even needed for that. You could probably just walk a ball peen around with some light taps. I'm gonna get this bearing greased up. Throw it in the box for, well, not throw it in the box, but leave it in the box there. Gotta head out of here in a few minutes, but real quick, pick up the little one from a birthday party. I looked at the other bikes here real quick, and these are the SRM ones. You can see, well, if I get the camera angle right, you can kind of see the bearing lip, you know, not the bearing, the race that hangs out of the headset there. Well, anyhow, I guess you gotta take my word for it. Not getting a great picture of that. But yeah, that lower one and this upper one, I'm assuming the upper's the same way. It's got a little bit sticking out. Same on the bottom, you know. It's been a little bit since I installed those on the other bikes, but pretty straightforward, just putting in bearing races. Yeah. So I'm gonna get this mess cleaned up, grease that bearing, and go get the little one. I'll circle back tomorrow, maybe this evening, on assembling the fork legs. All right, it's Monday, April 7th. It's the big day. Getting ready for the big show here soon. Anyhow, show you what I got going on right now with the bike. All right, I'm going to kind of put this in the middle of the, towards the end of the video, not so much the middle, but before the part where I was checking the forks for being parallel. Yeah, after watching that last night, figured I'd slip this in there. Anyhow, I started sticking this in. This upper bearing, I had to tap it down a little bit. You can see it's got movement. I need to finish it and just get it seated, if you will. Basically, just tapped it down with that socket there. Gonna try the spanner wrench on that nut, and I'm gonna flip upside down that dust cover and cinch that down a little bit. All right, I wasn't able to get enough with this smaller spanner here. I used that piece of flat steel I had in those vice grips earlier with those longer pliers, and I could get a little more out of this to where it's seated. It's not smoked on there where it's, smashing bearings, but it's got good drag. It's got, it feels good. I'm gonna take that top piece off and stick the top yoke on here. All right, so I got the stanchions temporarily put in here to see how this top yoke sits central. What it calls for it sitting central. Do it on the bench. I opted to do it this way instead. It's pretty centered there. I don't have everything. That's kind of rocking on there. Keep it from moving. Anyhow, take this back off. And just looking in the book, pretty much there's nothing that goes under there, just this dust cover or dust shield. No, me being a dirt biker, I'm always thinking, there should be some rubber stuff in there or whatnot, but that's it. So as there is to it there, don't be jamming your power washer in there from the bottom either. As you can see here in the picture, this is what the cups and the balls, but yeah, no seals. So it's just the way they did it back then. Anyhow, going to slowly run this down. Run this top yoke down on there. All right, the new stanchions showed up. I don't even know if I got this dial indicator in the same spot as I did the old ones. But like I said, just for shits and grins, I was going to check the run out on these. They're new. Looks like it goes up to about 2,000. Yeah, nice new shiny parts. Another thing I wanted to touch on here, I looked at my other video from yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before when I was doing these bearings. I didn't mention it, but figured I might as well. When I was using this punch here, I was in this area right here. I wasn't touching the cage of the rollers. So that's a good solid spot to drive off of. You definitely don't want to be going up hitting on the cage here. Figured I'd mention that. Sure, most of you know that, but hey, better safe than sorry, Just figured, hey, by the way. But yeah, the springs still haven't shown up, but just kind of checking those out. New parts there, seeing how they. Just curious how they work compared to the other ones. Gonna get to assembling this stuff here. All right, I got these in here about as even Steven as I can get. What I'm working with here. I'm gonna lay them down on the side, and I guess I'll show you the page what the book's calling for here. All right, here I am checking the parallel these new stanchions in the bottom yoke. I got a little bit of rock. It does discuss how to adjust for it. Being these are new stanchions, I'm not really going to get too carried away with it talks about putting one end in a vise, putting the tube on the other end like a pipe or whatever, and bringing it down. I don't have that much rock. I'll show you what I got going on here. It's ever so slight. If I loosen the one bolt, one of these pinch bolts, it goes away. So I stood it up. It talks about a surface plate, which I don't have, but I pretty much got this going on here. It's protractor. It's about 11 degrees. I go over to the other side. Pretty much the same. not laying down on this, you know, I don't have a surface plate. As I said, I got this piece of steel plate here. I'll lay it down, show what kind of rock I got going on. All right, talks about sticking the last 12 inches. This is 12 inches on the surface plate. It's pretty minimal. I'll loosen up one of the bolts, one of the pinch bolts. You'll see what I'm saying, how it goes away. All right, flip the plate around just for the hell of it, and before loosening the pinch bolt, lay it on its side here. It's pretty much the same. Still got a little bit of rock. Loosen up this bolt real quick. All right, so I've tried both sides. Pinch bolts, doesn't matter which one I loosen. I also took a little bit of a emery cloth in each hole here, cleaned them up just for the heck of it. And yeah, it's loose. And you know, they're flatness, if you will. It hasn't, you know, there's been a drastic change or anything. Yeah, so I don't see that yoke being stressed anywhere. It's basically when you tighten it up, it just gets a little bit tweaked. Nothing crazy, just slightly a little. And when I stick the top yoke on, like it says, to check for alignment here, putting that top yoke on, everything seems to be lined up there. Yeah, it's checking it for being central. It does talk about when you assemble it, it's possible during a reassembly to have the forks incorrectly aligned, and it tells you how to go about tightening up the bottom bolt for the wheel. You know, we got the mud guard on, you got the wheel on, put the wheel on, thread it in, and you know, work your way up there, starting from the ground up. And that little bit of rock, you know, I think, you know, that ain't much at all. Like if you look at the picture here, it's, you know, pictures times speak for themselves there. It shows a pretty big discrepancy, and these tubes being new, they run out like 2,000ths or whatever. And I could possibly manipulate it out by pressing on that yoke, which I don't want to do. It looks fine to me. I think it's the way it is. You know, once you tighten it up, it just a little bit of tweak going on there. But I'll be living with it. I'm okay with it. Like I said, kind of just is for shits and grins. I actually never did it on those two bikes at all. I never checked all this stuff. Basically just pissing around, waiting on parts. But yeah, good with this, happy with this. Gonna start assembling the legs, get the seals on, get everything bolted together, and get these yokes back in the headset here. Start assembling everything and be waiting on the spring still. That's probably be it for here for a little bit. I don't think the spring's gonna show up till Thursday evening. Anyhow, feel free to leave a comment, like or subscribe. Have a good week. Take her easy.